It's a source of the opioid epidemic
It's a big issue for us.
that isn't often talked about.
It does look like I'm fraudulently writing these prescriptions.
Making innocent doctors victims.
This is an incredibly profitable scheme.
While dangerous drugs flood our streets.
The pharmacist is the last line of defense.
Dozens written and filled, but none of them legal. The NBC 10 investigators have tracked down fraudulent prescriptions all over our area.
And tomorrow, Pennsylvania is launching a new program to fight the problem. NBC 10's Mitch Blocker has our investigation.
Dr. Francine Sandro has been practicing medicine around Philadelphia for almost 20 years.
Most of what I do is pain management.
She's written a good number of prescriptions during that time, but these aren't some of them.
I don't recall ever prescribing them.
Someone got a hold of one of Sandro's old prescription pads and has been filling scripts for oxycodone, codeine-containing cough syrup, and generic Xanax.
I never prescribed those three medications in combination.
In all, based on the Pennsylvania Drug Monitoring Program, we know 25 were filled.
I don't know if it's one person selling copies of my prescription saying, here, go to this pharmacy and get it, or whether it's somebody who is just writing it up and then walking into the pharmacy.
What we do know is the scripts were not filled anywhere near Dr. Sandro's current job at the Philly VA. The fraudsters hit the road and were able to get the meds in and around Allentown, as far north as Hazleton, down to Reading and south to Lancaster, and then west to York. Here in Lancaster, 2 prescriptions were filled on the same day using the doctor's name, and they didn't have to go far to get them filled. One was filled right here at this Weiss Pharmacy, and the other one right across the parking lot at this CVS. Manheim Township Police say this is the person who walked into the Lancaster CVS and got the drugs.
And it wasn't until after the fact that it was discovered that it was fraudulent.
Sergeant Michael Piacentino tells us they haven't had any luck catching her.
We have gotten 0 tips, which usually tells us that the person is not from here because no one recognizes them.
One of the key flags for us is when people travel extensive distances to get prescriptions filled.
This type of crime isn't news to the Drug Enforcement Agency in Philadelphia.
I'd say it's pretty much a daily occurrence.
You hear about this every day?
Pretty much.
DEA Supervisory Special Agent Patrick Traynor tells us there's money to be made from these drugs.
The standard rule is that these drugs will sell for approximately $1 per milligram.
Sandro says there could be almost 500 pills fraudulently obtained using her name.
A lot of good doctors and well-intentioned doctors have been the victim of this type of activity.
According to the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office, as of August of this year, it made 35 arrests for forged and fraudulent prescriptions. In 2018, there were 79 and 98 in 2017.
The pharmacist is the last line of defense.
Richard Ost is a pharmacy owner and member of the Pennsylvania Pharmacists Association. His pharmacy was not on Dr. Sandro's list.
The law says that the pharmacist has an ethical responsibility to make sure the prescription's for the person and it's the right medication for that person.
We reached out to all of the companies where the fraudulent prescriptions were filled. None of them would go in front of our cameras, but all sent us similar statements saying that they follow all laws and regulations when filling prescriptions. They also say that they have systems in place to detect fraud, and when necessary, they do contact law enforcement.
Pharmacists do check and enter patient prescription information into the Pennsylvania Drug Monitoring Program. It's run by the Department of Health.
The main purpose of the Prescription Drug Monitoring Program is to help physicians and pharmacies with their patients.
PA Health Secretary Dr. Rachel Levine says the program monitors pills that are given to individual patients. But Sandro says in her case, the fraudulent scripts were each written using different patient names and addresses.
If they change the name, then there's no way that this system is designed to pick that up.
That's no comfort to Dr. Sandro.
There was no clear path. Like, nobody said, okay, here's the problem, here's what you need to do to solve it.
For the investigators, I'm Mitch Blocker, NBC 10 News.